Yes, welcome to Popular Tech. You are welcome. If you are just joining this channel for the first time, I want you to hit on the subscribe button so that when we drop a new video, you'll be notified about it. Yeah, on this is Popular Tech. This is an online bootcamp where you'll be learning a lot of things about software development, from front end to back end to 3D animations. Yes, even mobile development. Yes, on this channel you also be learning full cryptocurrency course, which we'll be doing soon. So you have a lot of things to learn here. You have a lot of things to learn in this channel. So I would like you to subscribe and take the time to go through every video that we are going to be dropping here, because everything is going to be from the very basics and we are going to be taking you to the advanced, and we'll be teaching you in a way that even a novice, a newbie, will understand every concept and understand it in and out. So I can guarantee you that. Now we are starting with full stack web development, and I have decided to create this syllabus in this way for you. It will also be added to the video description so that you can go through it. You can also screenshot it if you like, just to be checking through our progress. Yes, we are starting with beginner web development. Now there are so many things I'll be covering in this tutorial. We are going to be going step by step. We are not rushing anything here. We are going step by step. We are assuming that you are joining us for the first time, you are a beginner. That is, you've not really gone deep into web development. You don't really know what web development is about. So we are starting afresh from the very basics, from what is even web development. So this course is divided into modules, and we'll be treating every module one after the other and nailing every basic concept. Now I want you to pay attention, because we are starting from the very basics. In software development, you have to understand the basics, because it is these basics that is built upon to build the complex applications that you are seeing, be it web, be it mobile, yes, be it even games. It is all these basic things that are put together to build that complex application. So I implore you to take the time to calm down and learn these core concepts and let them sink in. So the first module has to do with introduction to web development. So under it, we'll be treating what is web development, what is the difference between front end and back end. See, for web development, what we call full stack development has to do with front end and then back end. Just like the way the word implies, front end and back end. Front end, that is the front of the application, what you are seeing, the design and everything. When you click on the button, the interaction that it will show. When you click on, for example, on this channel, when you click on the subscribe button, you will see some animations that will show, and it will change to subscribed. Those are front end experiences. So those are front end. Then the back end is working behind the scene. This video that you are watching now is stored on the back end, and it is being fetched at the back end. That is why you are able to see it. So we'll get to that. Then the next thing is, how does the internet works, browser, servers and websites. We'll be diving into the theoretical and practical aspects of this. The introduction to web development workflow. How does web development, how does it work? How are you, the user, how are you interacting with the web? We are going to go into the intricacies of all that. Now the tools that you will be using, I will need you to install this editor, VS Code. There are other editors that you can use, but I prefer this because there are some things that, and also as I'll be doing it, it will be proper for you to see what I'm doing and you are doing the same. That's why I want you to use the editor that I'm using. Then by the time you are used to using this editor, then you can switch to whichever editor of your choice. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we'll be making use of this VS Code. Then the browser that we'll be making use of is Google Chrome. So you need to install these two things. Then developer tools also, I will show you how to install. This developer tools is an extension, the browser extension. So I'll teach you how to install that too. Then we'll go to what is HTML. What is HTML and why is HTML important? Basic structure of HTML, we'll go there, we'll do it also. Then CSS, cascading style sheet, the introduction to CSS and its role in web page. What we use CSS for is we use it to design. HTML is used for the skeletal design. The skeletal design is like a plan. It's like when you want to build a house and you draw the plan. HTML is the plan. So when you start building your blocks, after putting the blocks together, you put the roof and you start painting. That is the CSS. Then when you open the door, it will open. You open the window, it will open, and you put some camera and you put some AI control stuffs in the house. Those are JavaScript. So I hope you get that analogy. When we get there, you understand better. Introduction to CSS and why CSS is important. Basic structure, how to add CSS to HTML, inline, internal and external CSS. We'll get to that also. CSS syntax, CSS styling, font and everything. The box model, padding, margin, border and content. Basic layout techniques, we will get to that also. Then we get to JavaScript. JavaScript is the language of the web. Why is JavaScript essential in web development? We will get to know that. The variables and data types and operators that we have in JavaScript. How do we write JavaScript? JavaScript follow a process, what we call syntax, and every programming language follow this syntax. So how do we write JavaScript syntax and JavaScript functions? We will also be doing that, and we will also work with how to combine these three together, HTML, CSS and JavaScript, and use them to create dynamic web application. Working with JavaScript in the browser, alerts, console, log, basic DOM manipulation, event handling and all that. Now that is the basic aspects, HTML, CSS and JavaScript. In the second module, you'll be applying everything in the first module. So this module has been done in such a way that everything is linked together. So I will implore you, do not skip any video, do not skip any part. Even though you know it before, at least go step by step like that, because you might miss an information in a previous video. So you have to go step by step. Now the second one, the next module, we'll be using our HTML knowledge to create simple forms, text, radio, checkbox and submit contact form. We'll be creating form and validating form input. Then we'll be styling it with advanced CSS, and we'll be adding JavaScript also to it. Also, part of the bonus of this course is teaching you Git and GitHub. What is Git? Git is a version control system. What does it mean for version control system? When you are working on some project, at some point you may get into error and everything may become messed up. So how do you go back to the previous section that it is error prone? For example, let's say you are working on a project now, you have to commit it to Git. So let's say I'm working on a project today and I committing to Git is like you are saving your work, your progress. Let's say tomorrow I want to work on the same project and I've been working and it got to a point I got into an error that I'm not able to figure out. So instead of me messing up the whole code, I will just go back to the previous version of the project, and that will save me the stress of starting all over again. That's what we use Git for. GitHub, that's where we save our codes, our source code. You can also deploy your website on GitHub. Even there are some other websites also, hosts where you can deploy your website. You can deploy them from your GitHub. So GitHub has a lot of functionality, a lot of benefit to developers. Then after all those basics and all that, we'll be building different websites. You build portfolio website, you build e-commerce website, build chat application, you build everything from basic, from scratch. We are not jumping anything. We are going to go from the very basic. So you see that you have a lot of things to learn. You have a lot. Building interactive web pages with JavaScript and all. This is the backend. Introduction to backend. Now, the backend comprises of different things. The first is a server. The next is an API. And the third is database. Now, what is a server? A server acts as an intermediary between the database and the front end. It's just like when you search something. Let's say you go to google.com and you search google.com in the input, and you click on enter. It is that server that will grab that input that you enter. It will go into some machines, some computer. From there it will connect to your database. That's the work of the server. By the time we get there, you understand it better. Database, just as the word implies, database, the base of data. That's where your informations about either your user or your product or anything, that is where it is stored. And there are different databases management system that we use. There is SQLite, there is MySQL, yes, there is SQL also, there is MongoDB, there is PostgreSQL, there is Supabase, there is Firebase. You don't need to know everything. We are going to start with MongoDB here because that is a NoSQL database. So there is also SQL that will also be dealing with those two, MongoDB and SQL. So we'll be starting them from the very basic, from beginning, and we are going to go gradually. Then we'll also be introducing to Node.js. Node.js is JavaScript runtime. What is the role of Node.js in backend? What do we use it for? We also get there. Working with database, SQL and NoSQL. NoSQL is MongoDB. Then introduction to web hosting. How do you host your website? Different places where you can host. You can host on GitHub pages, you can host on Netlify, you can host even on Vercel. Different hosting companies. Then you deploy the site. Then the different projects that we're building, there are many. It's not limited to what is here. Then at the end of everything, you'll be working on some projects that will be assigned to you individually, and you'll be submitting it. When we get there, you will know how this is done. Now, thank you for watching this video. This is just the beginning. This is just the syllabus. The syllabus, the way I'm scrolling, some of you may not be able to really get a full grasp of it. So it will be in the description of this video. So if you are just joining this channel for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe. We want you to subscribe. We are building a community of tech gurus. That is our goal at Popular Tech. So thank you for joining.